Before we get into the video, I need you guys to do me a favour. Number 1, like the video. Also comment, let me know your thoughts on the case. Now, whether you enter an arranged marriage or a love marriage, there are always vows both parties are supposed to abide by. So the fact that a brute, a scumbag, a husband, 31-year-old Kashif Anwar, would take his 17-week pregnant wife, Fazea Javed, from her home in Pudsey, West Yorkshire, and travel all the way to Edinburgh for a honeymoon, push her off Arthur's Seat in September 2021, and then feign heartache and panic and grief is absolutely deplorable. And reports say that the solicitor, Fazea, who had been set to leave her abusive husband after telling him she didn't want to be in a loveless marriage anymore, a husband that had smothered her with a pillow, used his fist against her face, shouted at her, belittled her, and constantly told her she would not be able to behave like a British woman, a husband that even took £12,000 from her bank account while she was asleep. The marriage was so volatile that police had attended the family home in Pudsey twice and recorded allegations. However, Fazea refused to press charges at the time. Now ultimately, while near the top of the hillside of Arthur's Seat, Kashif Anwar had pushed his wife off the summit. Fazea had fallen 50 feet and suffered a lot of trauma. A witness to the aftermath, 24-year-old Dania Rafiq, had reached Fazea. In her last breath, she told Dania that her husband had pushed her. Another witness, James Duncan, who had heard 2 screams, the first one being Fazea and then the second scream being Kashif, had rushed to see what the commotion was about. At first, James thought that the couple may have just been scared by a fox. However, the truth was that much more alarming. James came into contact with a panicked Kashif. He asked James if he had a charged phone, and of course James says yes. He was then told to dial 999, as Kashif's wife had fallen off the hillside. So James dialed 999 and then gave the phone to Kashif. Kashif told operators that we came to the summit for sunset. It was a bit dark, we both technically slipped, and I tried to grab her by the arm. The slates were slippery, she didn't fall far, so I think she's still breathing. However, Kashif told firefighters who rushed to the scene that he had been standing to take a selfie on the evening of September 2nd when he slipped and bumped into his wife, Fazea, knocking her over. Now, Fazea Javed was an educated and independent woman, and Kashif was an optical assistant and possessed no redeeming qualities to himself. He felt demasculated and inferior to his wife's accomplishments, and because she was just a out-and-out nice person. Now, despite the fact that Kashif was jailed for life with a minimum term of 20 years, it was reported that Kashif and his family were still trying to put his wife's family through torment by refusing to give Fazea's family back all of her belongings. However, Kashif's family are already proclaiming Kashif's innocence and saying that Fazea had fallen and this was a complete accident. Of course, they're trying to paint their son, their brother, their uncle, their nephew as a husband that lost his wife in tragic circumstances, when Fazea actually helped convict her husband from beyond the grave, because what she did was she recorded previous phone calls where Kashif Anwar was screaming at his wife and belittling her, telling things that she would not behave like a British woman, and he also says that if you try to leave me, I will make sure that your life is ruined. After Fazea had repeatedly told her husband, "You're making my life a misery." Condolences. Stay safe.